Have you ever noticed how some people can walk past a TV showing the Super Bowl, the Champions League, or the World Cup, and they just don't care? While most of us know someone who lives and breathes every touchdown, goal, or point scored, there are people who don't obsess over sports at all. And here's the fascinating part. It's not because they're boring or antisocial. It's because their minds operate differently. Let's break it down. First, people who aren't obsessed with sports tend to have a different value system. While many of us derive excitement, identity, or belonging from cheering for a team, they don't need external validation to feel connected or alive. Their attention and energy are directed elsewhere, maybe toward hobbies, personal growth, creative pursuits, or career goals. The psychology behind this starts with self-reliance. When you're deeply content with your own mind, you don't need to latch on to collective enthusiasm to feel alive. Sports fandom gives others a social or emotional high. People who don't obsess have learned to generate their own emotional highs. This isn't arrogance. It's emotional independence. Next is selective engagement. Humans have a limited attention span, and our brains unconsciously decide what's worth our mental energy. Those who aren't sports-obsessed simply prioritize differently. They notice trends, they observe moments. But they don't invest hours analyzing stats, debating players, or arguing with strangers online. It's not apathy, it's conscious choice. Interestingly, their lack of obsession also ties to low social pressure susceptibility. Society often equates sports obsession with masculinity, loyalty, or even intelligence in casual conversation. Yet, some people have the psychological resilience to resist conformity. They won't pretend to care because it's expected. They focus on what genuinely excites them. Finally, there's a subtle connection to cognitive load and personality. People who are highly reflective, analytical, or introverted often find sports overstimulating or irrelevant. They might prefer strategy games, intellectual challenges, or personal projects that feel more meaningful to them. For them, obsessing over sports can feel like wasting precious mental energy on something fleeting. So the next time you meet someone who doesn't lose sleep over the playoffs, remember, it's not disinterest, it's a deeper psychological pattern. They are emotionally self-sufficient, selectively engaged, and fiercely independent in their attention and energy. And in a world addicted to collective excitement, that mindset is rare, powerful, fascinating. Asterisk. Now let's explore why this mindset can be incredibly advantageous. People who don't obsess over sports often have better focus on personal goals. While sports fans may spend hours watching, analyzing, and debating games, non-obsessives redirect that energy toward things that create long-term impact. It could be learning a skill, pursuing a career, maintaining health, or nurturing relationships. Asterisk. There's also a psychological calmness that comes with detachment from mass enthusiasm. Sports often involve intense emotional highs and lows, jubilation after a win, despair after a loss. People who avoid obsession experience less emotional turbulence because they don't tie their mood to outcomes they can't control. This gives them a steadier, more consistent emotional state. Asterisk. Interestingly, this mindset cultivates authentic social interactions. Instead of discussing who scored or who won, they engage with others on meaningful topics, shared interests, or personal experiences. They can participate in conversations about sports casually, without getting caught in the frenzy, which often makes them appear calm, rational, and self-aware. Asterisk. Another factor is time mastery. People who don't obsess over sports reclaim hours that others might spend in front of screens or in debates. Time that can be invested in personal development, hobbies, family, and travel. Psychologically, this builds a sense of freedom and control. They are the captains of their schedule. Asterisk. Finally, there's a metacognitive edge. Non-obsessives often observe sports culture with curiosity rather than emotion. They see patterns, notice human behavior, and understand social dynamics without being emotionally pulled into every game. This ability to observe without attachment is a hallmark of mature strategic thinking. Asterisk. The takeaway? Not obsessing over sports doesn't mean a lack of interest or excitement. It's different. mode of prioritizing attention and emotion. These people are selective with their energy, self-sufficient in their emotional regulation, and often enjoy richer, less reactive lives. Their psychology shows that passion doesn't need to be dictated by social norms. It can be directed toward what truly matters to the individual. Asterisk, so next time you meet someone who doesn't scream at the TV or follow every match, remember their calmness is rooted in psychology. They've learned to prioritize themselves, manage their attention, and choose what they care about wisely. And in a world addicted to distraction, that mindset is a superpower.